All right, so Ario, you're gonna spit something for us, right?
Yes, sir. Gonna
Let's
give you
get
some
it.
bars.
Let's get it.
All right. Some thoughts don't fade as easy as others. The darkest of days be lasting the longest. When the heart starts to fade, no longer abundance. I'm drowning, drowning, I'm chasing the hundreds. Got cuffs on my brain, looking like Ferragamo. Throw away the cup, we sipping right out the bottle. Never stop at a buzz, let's mix it with marijuana. Can never get me enough when trying to fill up what's hollow. Only thing on my mind is making it hit soprano. Only thing on the mind is if I'll be here tomorrow. Homie, forget divine, can't fathom what is nirvana. Had it with all the drama, happiness is never gone. I'm fond of nothing, clubbing, rushing, puffing, something, rubbing, honor, honest, ain't no loving, yeah. And there ain't no point in running. Everything got me hot, like I woke up in the oven.
Yeah. That's the teaser. Ario, welcome to Real Talk with Star Scorpio. How you doing today?
Hello, sir. I'm doing good. How are you?
Good, man. Okay, first, I'd like to thank you for coming out, man.
Of
Um,
course.
but before we get the timeline going, you're an artist who creates music. Let the people know what style of music you dabble in.
Of course. I'm an artist who's mainly in hip hop and rap,
Mhm.
and I don't make many beats. I kind of keep that for the producers because they have a good ear for that. But for me, it comes when it comes to writing, like that's my shit, you know. And then performance and just bringing ideas to life and kind of with my lyrics, I always try to um, have a message in it, a lesson, something that makes you question, and that I think is what Ario is really about, you know. So
Oh yeah. Oh, we're gonna get into that later, man. I do have a question around that about lyrics and writing and stuff, man. But
okay, for
first,
sure.
what I want to know, man, and I want my listeners to know, people watching, your name is creative,
Hmm.
REO, and it has meaning. Let the people know what it means.
So Ario stands for all religions in one, and you know it didn't originally start that way. It actually my name's Armin, and
Yeah.
it's a Persian name. So when I was trying to find an artist name, I was searching up Armin, and I found that Armin is actually the form of the
Hmm.
name Aryo Barzan, which is an old Persian name. So I
Okay.
named myself Aryo for short. So it's
Hmm.
still my same name, just a little different. And then from there, I saw that, hey, you know what? Like, I became very philosophical at one point in my life. And that's when I kind of transitioned Ario to stand for all religions in one and just have more of a purpose behind everything that I do.
Beautiful, man. Beautiful.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's get this timeline going, man. Where were you born and raised?
I was born in Tehran, Iran. So
Okay.
all the way over Middle East, you know, and then, but when I was two, I moved here with my family. So we just immigrated over
Oh,
straight
okay.
to Calgary right before 2000.
Okay.
And then since then, I've been in Calgary and I've actually lived in Saskatchewan for a while when I was going to university.
Hmm.
Um, yeah,
So you're a West, right? Oh, yeah, man. So you,
yeah.
you you grew up the mountains, man. I was there, I don't know how many years ago, 7, 8 years ago, and I saw the mountains,
Out in
man.
Banff and stuff.
Yes,
Yeah,
man.
yeah.
Beautiful, beautiful,
So
man.
nice. I
Eh,
know, man.
do you have siblings too?
I have one brother,
Hmm.
and he's currently in Europe. He's just working there. He really likes the Europe vibes, man.
Vibe,
So
right? Yeah.
he
Is he
left
older
us.
or younger?
He's older. He's 7 years older.
Okay. Yo, I have to know your age, man. How old are you, man?
I'm almost 25. So in December I turned 25.
Yo, bro, you're my daughter's age. My daughter's 24.
For real?
Yeah. She turns
Yeah.
25 in April next year.
Oh, nice, man.
But that's crazy. Save you could be my son, bro.
I guess so.
Some
Yeah.
people say I don't look my age, man. I'm 48, gonna be 49 in November.
48, bro. You look amazing.
Yeah, thank you, man. Thank
For
you.
real.
But I dye my beard, so you know what are you gonna do?
Ah, you got that's cool. Don't give the sauce away, you know.
Yo. Okay, now this is what I like to know, right? So I always like to know what my guest excelled in high school. So whether it be the sciences, the math, the English, or even arts, because often it builds a story of their journey and the direction in life. So what were you good in school, man?
In school, I was really good at um, math and calculus
Oh,
specifically. Yeah.
okay,
I don't
yeah,
I don't know why, like in grade 12 they hit us with calculus. I just understood it, you know. And the difference was with some other courses you might memorize stuff and then just recite that on a
yeah,
quiz or something, but what I felt with math and calculus is that I truly understood it, and everything that I was doing, every number variable that I would use, I'd understand why we're doing that. And I think that's what really helped me excel in that. And moving on from that, I think it really put me um in a place of like logic and trying to understand stuff.
yeah. Do you find, because this is just, I'm trying to see the relation to with music. Does this translate to music in a way? I was just wondering, man. Like putting rhyme schemes together and the flows. I don't know. Because
Honestly, I think so, bro, because um like music, it can be breaken down to numbers, right? Like notes, and more importantly than the notes, the spaces between the notes that make it a song, right? So I think that the math plays a bit of a role, but actually the cool thing is my brother was a poet,
oh,
and
okay.
he made it pretty big. Like he was on TV stations and stuff.
Hmm.
And um and I heard that my dad, like, he used to write poetry as well, and he actually proposed to my mom writing a poems.
Oh,
Yeah, so when I
nice.
learned these, I was like, wow, like, yeah, I rap, but like, there's so much history behind it that it
Mhm.
makes more sense that I stepped into this.
Yeah, nice. Thanks for sharing that.
Yeah.
Yo, so I want to know how you got into the game, man. Was it you or your friends, and were you all rapping, or was it just you? And also, there's a there's a gap between us. So, I grew up with 90s hip hop,
Hmm.
and I'm sure you probably know the artist that I'm talking about, but because you're a student of the game, but
Hmm.
the influences might have been different as well. So first, how did you get into the music, and also who are your influences?
So I always loved music, and before hip hop or anything, because my dad ain't playing that music
Yeah,
around,
yeah.
so
Yeah,
he's
yeah.
playing like whatever station is on, right? So I always just loved songs, and then I think one of the big factors that put me into hip hop was
Mhm.
I went to summer camp one year when I was really young, like still in elementary school,
Okay.
and someone and there was some like older kids there that I would just end up hanging out with them. We'd play like um blackjack and stuff on break, and then
Mhm.
they showed me Eminem, like Ass Like That and The Real Slim Shady, and then
Okay.
um to me it was just, it had a certain energy that was kept me going back, so I would always listen to it, and then it transitioned to me searching up the lyrics and trying to memorize the lyrics and reciting myself, and it was kind of like a game. It was fun. And
Okay.
then it kept going like that, and progressively I started listening to different artists, and my brother definitely influenced me as well. He's a bit older, so he would play new songs that I haven't heard of. And then
Mhm.
um, around grade 9, grade 10 is when I said, hey, you know what? Like, I love rapping when I rap along the songs. Like, why can't I do it myself? So
Okay.
then I sat down and I wrote a little quick song. And I remember the first one I recorded, I was like quiet like this, right?
Yeah,
And,
yeah.
and I sent it to my friend, and he's like, bro, like, where's the energy, fam? And then I was like, you're right. I did it again. And it
Yeah.
just, from there, I think it was like, okay, there is something. Like, it wasn't obviously great, but
Mhm.
it was something to build up on. And the main roots of my move into rap is just my passion for it and how much I truly enjoy it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Nice. Nice. Yo, I was gonna ask you something later, but you already
yeah, yeah.
touched on it. So when you come up with rhymes or whatever it is, when you're writing stuff, who do you test your lyrics on? Because I was a comedian for like 8 years of my life, and
Hmm.
my brother and my wife would always hear my jokes. Like I'd be like to see their reactions. But who did you look out for those reactions when you spit some lyrics to them, spit some bars?
Just my friends and classmates and stuff, and um, but you know what? That was more at the beginning. But what I'd say now is I don't really look to anyone to
Right.
approve it, because I'm very critical of my own work, that I
Yeah,
won't even be okay with it unless I know it's something like that's great. And if
I
it's
get it.
something that's great, everyone's gonna like it anyways. So
Yeah.
sometimes I'll just get a beat going and I'll rap a little demo thing. That's I'm never gonna release it, but just to get some ideas out, and I'll show my friends, and then they'll be like, "Oh, this part I don't know." I'm like, "Yeah, man. Like I'm not gonna use this anyway." But
Yeah, yeah.
so I feel like for me, I'm very critical at that, and I understand like music is huge, right? Like we got Drake, we got Kanye, we got all these artists. Like if I'm making music, I'm
Mhm.
competing with them as well, even though
Yeah,
I'm just some guy from Calgary, right? So um I think that I have to hold myself to a standard that
yeah.
uh is competable.
I like that. Well said, man. And we all are critical of ourselves too, and whatever we're
Mhm.
dabbling in, man.
For
Okay,
sure, yeah.
so now I learned early on, man, that whatever you do takes practice. So even me with comedy, I had to like practice. Kobe Bryant was known to be in the gym before anybody, shooting, working out. I feel like with music, the key is writing and getting your ideas from pen to pad. Does
Hmm.
this resonate with you?
100%. You know, I'm also a firm believer in practice.
Mhm.
And I truly think that if you want to do something, there's no limitation. You just have to practice at it. You know,
Preach.
like
Hmm.
even if you want to be a basketball player, like there's some short boys in the league, you know?
Hmm.
You just got
Yeah.
to get that jumper right. You
Yeah,
just got to
man.
keep practicing. And same thing with comedy, like you said, or with writing lyrics. It's just keep going, keep going. And then a little part comes into play where it's motivation, right? So
Oh,
some
big
days,
time.
yeah, so it really, you have to stay motivated. And I actually saw this quote that said, the days you're not motivated, you
Hmm.
still have to commit. So then the day that you are motivated, you'll be up here, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
So I think that's huge, and just sticking to it.
Yeah, man. I like that, man.
Hmm.
Yo, you're wise beyond your years, man.
Thanks,
Yeah,
bro.
man.
I've been through a lot, honestly, man.
Yeah. I want to even dabble on that stuff too, touch on that a little later on. But first I want to say, man, music goes beyond lyrics. And I
Hmm.
listen to some of your tracks, man. I'm old, man. So when I'm looking at the Spotify and stuff, I'm trying to find these tracks. And what I used to do is get my daughter to download whatever, because I don't iTunes and all this stuff. So she
Yeah.
downloads stuff for me.
Hmm.
Like when I interviewed Tari Torre, she was in Kanye's Genius. And I'm like, yo, Carissa, can you just download this album? Because I want to support it at the same time. I want to support you. And then I went through her whole album. But for you, I listened to a track called Nudist, Perfect, something from 2020. I think it was No Vibe Killers.
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
then more current, you're on the radio, Bomb and Drip, Brethren. I gotta tell you,
Yeah.
man. Fire, fire.
Respect,
So
bro.
what I want to know, some people ask it a different way. Some people say, oh, what's the creative process? But what I want to know is when you generate these lyrics in your head, where do you draw inspiration from?
Life.
Mm,
It's just, it's all from, oh, it's hard because it's half of the lyrics inspiration is based on your experiences,
yeah.
and the other half is based on the manifestation of what you want in your life. So
Wow.
it's almost a merger of the both, because if I just talk about my stories, then I'm stuck in the past. I'm not evolving. I'm not pushing any narrative forward. So, but if I only talk about the future, then there's no authenticity to me. There's no story behind me. So what I try to do is I um, try to touch on where I came from
Hmm.
and touch on where I want to be.
Hmm.
And something that's really interesting is that whenever I write lyrics, um, maybe I'll like say like a specific thing, like a car name or like a designer name or something that I might not have yet.
Hmm.
And then after I make the song, in like 2 weeks, I have it. And
Okay.
it's so crazy to me because to me that is manifestation, right? And I don't write it with the purpose of making it happen, but I think that when I do write it and put my energy into it and feel it, it
Hmm.
just the universe brings it, you know?
Wow. Ario. So I like that answer, man. And my next question, I think you probably answered it, man. Because I was gonna say, has your inspiration changed over the years? You seem very conscious, brethren. And
Hmm.
with what's going on right now too in the world. So
Hmm.
does that translate to your music? And I think you answered that, but I don't know if you want to add to what I
Yeah.
just asked too.
Yeah. So in 2017, I experienced ego death. And I was just, so what happened was I was just sitting in my room,
Hmm.
and it was a period of time where I stayed um, at home to do online school
Okay.
versus going back to school with my friends and stuff.
Okay.
So it was kind of, I was isolated, and it felt like, um, especially for me, I'm a very social person. So being around people and being around my friends is almost a comfort zone for me.
Okay.
So having that stripped away, it kind of left me um, vulnerable
Vulnerable.
almost. And
Hmm.
then what was really interesting, I'll even link you these videos later, but I saw a series of videos that was Jim Carrey on a red carpet. I don't know if you've seen that, like a weird interview he did on a red carpet. But pretty much it was like for New York Fashion Week, I think. And
Okay.
the person interviewing him saying like, "Hey Jim, like, are you here to celebrate icons tonight?" And he's like, "Icons, like nothing exists. This is all just figment of imagination," kind of thing, right?
Okay.
And then it didn't really make sense. And the woman that was interviewing was like, "What?" And then, but I know Jim Carrey. I've seen The Mask. I've seen his brilliance.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
like I knew this guy wasn't off the rocker. So I
Right.
searched up Jim Carrey interview explained, and there's
Okay.
this some guy, I think his name is like Prince EA or something. He's
Okay.
very conscious with it, and he broke it down and he said some key words like uh the distinction between, like, for example, he said that when you get in your car, you
Hmm.
say it's me and my car. It's not the same thing. But then at the same time, you say me and my arm. You're not saying your arm is you. So there's a distinction being made here when we say that. That
Hmm.
means there's a self, like an idea, the identity, the ego. Then
Yeah.
there's the body.
Hmm.
And then it's like, but in reality, these two are not separate. It's just the body. The ego is just something that um, we use to individualize um, and interact with others in society, right?
Right.
But but when he said that, I was like, oh my god! And he went on to say that you don't breathe, you don't try to breathe. Breathing happens.
Yeah.
You don't try to fall asleep. If you try to fall asleep, you're not going to fall asleep. The second you fall asleep is when you stop trying.
Right.
And then it's like stuff is just happening. And the ego is that part of us that says it's me that does it. But it's like there's no me that does it. There's just is. It's just God. And
Right.
then I swear to God, man, like after I watched these like 2, 3 videos,
Hmm.
and keep in mind, I'm like completely sober. Everything is just like 9 p.m. in my room,
Hmm.
and I get this energy suddenly, and it just clicks in my head. I'm like, I'm one with everything. There
Right.
is no me, and instantly, all my self-conscious thoughts are gone. All my insecurities are gone because there's no me versus something else. It's just is. And for months, I was in this peak state where I just like I'd look at someone and I'd just be in total happiness just looking at them being like, wow, this person's like, they're me, you know. And that's how
Right.
it felt. And then now I will say that it is hard to stay in that place because society makes you have to have an ego and identity,
I
so it's
get it.
kind of hard to be in the oneness place. But um I think so. Coming back to your question that you asked me is
Mhm.
that moment has changed my whole life to be about the world, to be
Wow.
about people, to be about love and God and the universe. And I think um, anything I can do individually doesn't amount to anything when it's compared to what can be done for the world. I'm sorry, I went off there, but you
No,
know.
no, 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 no. Shoot, man. Yo, I'm getting shivers, man. Like, yo, this, I'm telling you, this is why I like doing this podcast.
Hmm.
I reach out to people and I either get a yes, hey, I'll do your, yeah, it's kind of cool. I'll do your podcast. Or I get people don't even answer me. I see they see it on Instagram, but they don't answer me,
Yeah, yeah,
or they don't see it at all. But the people that respond, I believe that I need to meet them for a reason. I'm at an age in my life now where I want to give back. I love meeting new people. And even me and you just talking right now, I feel like I've known you for a long time and it's so
same.
easy and peaceful, man. So I believe this interview happened for a reason. And I'm glad you're sharing your thoughts in your head, man, because things like that, it gets me going too. And I like
Hmm.
to pass it on to other people if people watch this or listen, man.
Yeah.
So, yo, thanks for
It's
that,
always
man.
something to think. And honestly, man, I want to say one thing is that I appreciate you. I like when you reached out to me, it really means a lot for someone to care, you know, to really care. Um and other than that, like the fact that you've been doing this for a while, like that's so inspirational and motivating, and it really shows that if you stick to your grind, results will come. And I just want
Yeah.
to thank you for that. Like you are inspiring people, man.
Yeah. Yo, man. Yo, I'm telling you, man, I need to hear that too sometimes because, sometimes I'm on that edge where I'm like, is this working out, man? Like, but I do have the avid listeners that listen all the time, any podcast. And you know what? When I was watching something, why podcasts fail. I was watching that the other day, some
Okay.
channel. And then one of the things they said, if you don't have a niche, like if you're doing one on basketball, you're just talking about basketball. If you're doing it on something else, like just music, you do. I touch everything. I reach out to everybody. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
And they're trying to say like a podcast like mine would fail because your audience won't. My whole thing is I want my audience to listen to everyone that I have on because it's about the message. And you know how I donate too, man. It's about getting those
Hmm.
charities out there and helping people, man. So yeah,
Yeah,
man.
100%, man. That's
Deep,
what's up.
man. Deep. Wait, do you read a lot? Do you read a lot? Because I wasn't a reader, man. I learned from TV, man. I used to watch TV
Yeah,
and
yeah,
movies all the time. And I believe I'm dyslexic, but not diagnosed because I mix up my words ever since I was young. And
yeah.
it's
Hmm.
discouraging when you read, like I can't concentrate, I can't get the words right. So I was always learning from videos. So what about
Hmm.
yourself?
I used to not read, but recently I've been reading a lot, and
Yeah.
it's for me, it's really about the specific book, right? It's not just read to read. It's more like, wow, this book can really teach me something. I need to go into it. And when I do read, I get very invested. Where it's like daily, I'll go read a bit more, bit more, bit more. It's not like just a pastime.
Yeah.
But from what you said, man, like I'm also type of person that I don't believe like that thing where you have to read, reading equals intelligence or anything. No, because information equals intelligence. If
Yeah.
you can get your information from a vessel that makes more sense
Hmm.
to you, then that's better than reading, you know?
Hmm. I'm a beat guy, right? So I
Okay.
miss a lot of lyrics, even from music from back in the 90s, from all the artists I like. If I listen to them now, I catch things till this day that I'm like, oh my God, is that what they said? Because I'm into the
Oh
beat.
yeah.
Yeah, bob
Hmm.
my head. So what I'm getting at, I appreciate some of your posts, man, because you put the words up, man.
Yeah,
And
yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah,
some of them. And someone like me would miss some of the fire you spit, man. And
yeah.
the
Hmm.
wordplay is sick that you have.
Thanks, bro.
So was that a conscious thing sometimes where you put the words up, because you can dabble with the
Yeah.
kind of post that you post. And I kind of like how you put the words because I get to see, oh my gosh, that's what he said. Kind of like it,
Yeah,
man.
I mean, yeah, so like I said at the beginning, like I'm very poetic and writing's my big thing, so showcasing the lyrics is huge. But
Hmm.
as well, like I'm sure you do this too, where you have to think about social media marketing and how to connect with audience, get more views and stuff. So I know that, for example, a lot of people, like, let's say they're outside in public scrolling, they don't have volume on their phone, so
Hmm.
that whole post is wasted if it's just audio that they can't hear. But the second there's lyrics, they can still engage with it a little bit and even read something that's sick and be like, oh, that's fire.
Yeah.
Or even it'll lead them to turn on the volume, you know. So
Yeah.
I'd say the reason I put the lyrics now is mainly because it makes more sense in today's social media climate, and um, having people uh, not sleep. Like, my main thing is there's people sleeping on me, bro.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to wake them up. So if writing a lyric might be another alarm clock on their phone, I'm gonna write that, you know?
Hmm. Okay. And you know why that helps too is now we're in the time of accessibility. So in my work, I learned there's a lot of things that you have to do to cater to some audiences too. So I believe in Instagram, you can put, I forgot what it's called, man. But so people that are hard of hearing, deaf, whatever, they can read.
Oh, like
You know what I
the
mean?
live caption thing?
Live captions, like everything,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
accessibility is important these days too, man.
100%, man.
Mhm. So you said you didn't dabble in too much of the beats, but shout out your team if you want, man. Are you in the studio right
Yeah.
now? Are you in a studio right now,
Yeah,
or
yeah. This is my home studio right now.
okay, okay.
Yeah, it's very, very basic, but you know, I just record it and then
Mhm.
send it in to my guy. So to just give some credit to the team, you know, my whole album and a few singles I've done with a sound engineer. So I'd record everything myself.
Mhm.
I'd find the instrumentals I'd either make. So I've made, I think, I Wanna Fly on the last album I made.
Okay.
And then other than that, I try to find instrumentals, find beats. So I either reach out to different producers, or producers see me on Instagram or something. They reach out to me, send me beats, or even online. Sometimes you find a nice beat and you go reach out to the guy yourself.
Mhm.
Um, but that's the beat side. And then the sound engineer side is crazy because I never had a sound engineer. Like, early
Okay.
on in the SoundCloud days, I would try to do it myself, but um like, there's only so much you can do self-learning
Oh,
off YouTube,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
Yeah, and then I was like, okay, if I want to take it to next level, like, I need it to sound really good. So I start trying to find people, and I go like one-off songs with this guy, one-off songs with this guy, and then for the album, I knew I needed someone that would do the whole thing.
Mhm.
So I went on Reddit and I
Oh,
searched up. I searched for sound engineering services, and there was
yeah.
this one guy named Shadley. Shout out Shadley, I love you. He
Nice.
lives in he was in South Africa, and now he's in Thailand. He moved
Wow.
there,
Mhm.
and he does the whole shebang. You know, he got the whole studio set up. He sends it out, sends it to me. I give him some edits, sends it back, and then and the most important thing to me is,
Mhm.
obviously, there's the skill and the talent and how the product sounds, but to me it's about the connection. And
Yeah.
you know, so he's really someone that um he's there, you know. He has the energy, he wants to always improve. He just has love in his heart, you know. So that's the main thing that I love about him. But since then, though,
Mhm.
um I've been working with this guy. I'll shout him out too, Oops Singh. He's in
Okay.
Toronto, actually,
Okay.
so shout out to him. He hit me on DM saying, yo, I do I can record you and stuff. I'm in the Toronto area. And I said, hey, I'm gonna come down there soon. Let's do a song. And we went to studio. We record two songs. One of
Okay.
them was 2F,
Oh,
and the
yes.
next one is actually November 4 coming out. It's maybe it's out by now if you're hearing this, but it's called Ghetto Religion. So those two songs we did in one session in Toronto.
Mhm.
Then I'm also working with this guy up in Edmonton now. His name's
Wow.
Skinny Steve, and I actually met him in university in Saskatchewan.
Okay.
And then we didn't really talk much, but after some time, we saw we're both on our music grind, and we kind of collaborated. And that's gonna be the song "Get a Religion" coming out. That's
Yeah.
with him, and he's killer too. And see, for me, the main thing is, man, I want to grow with people. I'm not type of person to, like, give me the service and we're done.
Yeah.
It's like, it's like, bro, if I'm gonna use even one beat of yours
Mhm.
or one like sound engineering thing of yours, that means you're good.
Yeah.
That means I believe in you, bro. That means like I wouldn't go to you if I didn't think so. So it's like we need to stay at it. We need to build each other up. If my song pops suddenly,
Mhm.
then you're the one who did it. I'm gonna shout that out. You know, like we going up together. There's no like hoard the money, hoard the fame. Like whatever. It's life's short. Like let's
Yeah.
all move up together. And same thing with you, bro. Like this is our first time meeting, but I really feel that we're gonna build a relationship out of this, man.
Bro, you already said it. I was gonna say we're on the same wavelength. I was gonna
Yeah.
say this is our first interview, but I'm gonna stay with you, man, through your journey, man, and see where it goes. If you want to touch real talk again, see where you at your
We
next
going,
level.
bro. If I pop off, we're taking you to Drink Champs level, man.
Yeah, yeah.
Star Scorpio, the new Noriega.
There you go. Oh man. Okay. Oh man, you got my brain all twisted, man. Yo, I was gonna say something though, man. Where does it? Because you explained something earlier on, but now I want to know about the motivation because you seem very motivated and driven, man. And I want to know, where does that come from? Were you always like that, even growing up, playing sports and things? Were you the leader? Like, where does it come from?
uh, I think it comes from my like how social I am, how extroverted I am. I love being around people, and even like you said, I played soccer and I was a team captain for my team, and
Mm,
it's just kind of keeping people motivated, keeping them going, making sure that they have the goals in line and they have their vision set.
mhm.
And uh, yeah, I think I've always felt motivated in that sense. And my main motivation in this stuff
Yeah.
is that we have one life.
Oh,
We have
mm,
one life as us. So I could right now go and live a decent life if I just stick to like a degree and get a job in that degree and just work every week and it'll probably be a decent life, have my family, whatever. But I want to push it to a level where it's like I really did this, you know, like
mhm.
I could have done that, but I sacrificed my time, my energy. I believed in myself, and we made it happen. You know, that's what I'm headed for. The we made it happen for that day. That's like because I know that there are people there that might have gone to high school with me and stuff that might see my posts and be like, oh, this guy's like he's
Mhm.
still childish, you know, he's still trying to make his rap dream come true. But it's like this is what Mr. Beast said. You're only uh wait, what was it? It was you're crazy until it happens.
Yeah.
Then you're a genius. It was like that. You're crazy until it happens, then you're a genius. So right now, me and you both, we crazy. We
Yeah.
following our dreams. We
Yeah.
saying, you know what, there might not be that much results from it right now, but we sticking to it. But then when it pops, bro,
Yeah.
that's Einstein level, fam.
You're damn right. Yeah, man. Yeah, and that's why I like watching documentaries on artists, mostly artists, even actors and stuff, like you name it. And just to see what they've been through and then they come to a certain level, but you don't
Mhm.
see all the trials and tribulations they went through, you know what I mean?
Exactly.
Unless it's
And so many people
documented.
are deemed a one hit or like a overnight success, right? But
Yeah.
in reality, they've put in so
Oh,
much work.
the work.
And
Yeah.
I'm also a huge believer that it does take luck, like the
Oh.
right person, right place. But
Hmm.
the more you work, the higher your chances of getting lucky is.
Yo, who is this guy? Yo, this is I don't know, man. I don't know what to do anymore, man. Yo, Aria, man. This is it's amazing, man. Jeez. Okay. Yo, okay. I want to touch on something serious in a minute, but yo, I want you to plug your stuff. I was gonna do it at the end, but you did talk about Get a Religion. I
Mhm.
heard, is it double F two? What do you call that album? What's that album, man?
That
Two
one, that song is called
two F.
2F.
2F, the song.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So tell me some of your albums or singles that you've put out, and what is the year that you started? Was it the 2020 or
So if you go and look at my SoundCloud, we go a
Yeah.
bit further back than that. So it'll be around 20 15
Oh, wow.
is when I dropped my first mixtape. And it wasn't anything crazy. It was on Spotify or anything, just SoundCloud. I recorded it on like some bougie mic, you know.
Yeah.
And then uh and then I've always tried to, so one thing about me when I make music is
Hmm.
I try to not stay in a lane.
Okay.
I try to always be different.
Hmm.
And there is an underlying theme to ARIO music, right? It is very bar heavy and it has nice flow and nice rhythm. But in terms of even beat selection, like one time I'll go on a trap beat like No Vibe Killers, and
Okay.
then
Yeah.
another time I'll go on like a ball main drip beat where it's kind of more smooth, you know?
Hmm.
So um so yeah, yeah,
So
I don't know.
SoundCloud,
Yeah.
you started that
So
2015.
started there, and then in 2020, that's when I dropped my album. And it's always been for me, it's been an on and off thing for a
Okay.
while until
Yeah.
recently.
Okay.
Recently, I was like, no one's gonna help me. Time's getting wasted. Like, there's no more time for off. You know, it's all on.
Hmm.
But before, it used to be on and off because it's also hard too. Like if you have to devote a lot of time into it. When if your friends are all like going out and doing this and that, you kind of want to go too. So um, it really comes down to investing in your future and where you want to be.
Yeah.
So I think since 2020, that was the real shift.
Hmm.
And I did take a break after 2020 for a few months, but um, you know what? I'm back and I'm not planning to go anywhere. So
Yeah.
we're gonna stick to it till it happens, you know.
Yeah. I like to hear it. But you mentioned 2020, that was COVID.
Yeah.
So that's when I was trying to, I have a full-time job, but I was always trying to do something else. You know what I mean? So I did the stand up, all that stuff. But I was thinking of something, and that's where I came up with the idea for the podcast. Because, I had time to think, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
So how was COVID for you when in relation to the music, man? Is that when you came up? Because we're on lockdown and all that, man. So let me know about that.
Yeah. So I released No Vibe Killers as a single on January 10, 2020, I think.
Okay.
That was like right before COVID hit.
Yeah.
And I think it was like bubbling over in Asia, you know, we never got the update yet.
Yeah.
And then it hit around like March and stuff, but honestly, it didn't really change too much for me. I had my mindset that I got to do it.
Okay.
It was a little bit of a obstacle to overcome because no more live performances. A lot of people are uh, like not in the best place. You know,
Hmm.
they're not too high energy, but um, it also had some benefits where people have so much more time on their hands or work from home, for example. They got more time to scroll. If you're posting content, they got more time for it.
Yeah.
So so um uh I think COVID helped a bit
Hmm.
in just establishing that um I gotta work for this.
Yeah.
But in general, I'd say that it's something that is underlying regardless of societal stuff. it's
Right.
it's like this is about me and my journey, you know.
Yeah. And okay, so now you mentioned societal stuff. So everything's flowing the way I can't believe I
It's
wanted it
perfect.
to, because now I want to ask, man. So there's a lot of unrest right now in Iran, sparked by an act of evil. And I saw one of your posts around this too, man. And I know in your stories, I should say,
Hmm.
very impactful. Makes you think some of your posts. I'm looking at your posts these days, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So what I'm trying to say is you express yourself through music, but I feel like you want your voice to be heard in other ways too.
Yeah.
So is this statement correct? What do you think?
I think you hit that on the head with it. I feel like that's another reason I'm an artist is because I truly feel like I have something to say. I have like an opinion that, or I have questions about life, or um I have like maybe a mindset that might not be exactly with everyone. So
Hmm.
it kind of makes people question, might make someone uncomfortable a little, might make someone um maybe even a little angry, but everything is out of love and everything is out of just the motive to make everyone one, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, so with Iran, like you said, this is something in Iran specifically that's been happening since 1978, 79. That was the revolution.
Okay.
And so there was a king, and I'd be lying if I said I knew everything about this, because I
Mm.
really don't. But um I know that there were some issues with the king too, and there were some different uh uh agendas and stuff happening, and then someone else came in who is the supreme leader of Iran.
Hmm.
And what happened then is Iran became an Islamic republic. So everything, all the laws are guided by Islam.
Hmm.
What that means is, and obviously nothing wrong against religion, if anyone's religious, that's absolutely fine, but nothing should be forced. Everyone is human and deserves the right of choice and the right of to speak for themselves and freedom of what they wear. Um, and that's the huge issue in Iran. And every few years, there's something that sparks a protest. And I think it was 2008 or something, when there was an election that all the people were siding with one guy,
Hmm.
and it was clear he would win. But then the other guy won by landslide, and everyone threw to the streets protesting. And then it just people die, people die, people die, and then it dies down,
Yeah.
and then it goes back to the same thing, and then something else happens. But honestly, man, this time I think it's really different, because the difference now is that it's the younger generation that's stepping up. You
Yeah.
see videos of schoolgirls that's like, I'm getting chills talking about this. They're so amazing. Like, you see these schoolgirls that they're getting beat and stuff in the streets, but they still take that hijab that they don't want to wear. They take it off,
Hmm.
and they protest to the supreme leader, to the government. And um, I truly believe that the power is always with the people.
Hmm.
And how I explain this is like this: Apple is the number one company in the world,
Hmm.
but Apple is only Apple because everyone buys the iPhone.
Yeah.
If everyone stops buying the iPhone, Apple's no longer the biggest company. It's not anything. No one cares anymore. So it's each individual person that purchases it that makes it what it is. So when we all come together, if one person can't do it, two people can't do it, but when we all come together, then we are what decides what is. And if we all decide that that's not it anymore, we're not going to let it happen. We're not going to let it stay. We're going to change it. And I think that's what's happening today. Actually, today in Germany, 90,000 people from all over Europe, different Persians, different every race, they came together to protest this. And it just shows that um and there honestly, in the West, there's not that much coverage of this stuff,
Yeah.
but it's still going. It's still going. It gets bigger and bigger and bigger because of social media, because of each person. They share
Yeah.
it here, they share it there, and the conversation stays alive. And honestly, it can be people could think that, why would me sharing a story change anything? But it's
Hmm.
like, there's people in Iran that are on the street fighting for their freedom, fighting for their rights, fighting to just have a regular life,
Hmm.
and their internet gets cut off, and they're getting shot down in the street, and there's no one to to share this news. So it comes to us that we live in a society that we have these freedoms. We need to use it and take advantage of it and post all this stuff and spread the awareness, because and this doesn't just start at Iran or end at Iran. This is a world thing. It Killing don't make no damn sense. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? Killing don't make no damn sense. We on a rock. Like, this is obvious stuff. We on a rock in the whole universe. We're a human race. There's nothing separate. Like, the one of the dumbest things to me is racism. How can you be racist? Like, are you that naive to think because we look different, we're different? We're probably even to like a giraffe, we're probably super close. You know what I mean? Because we're
Yeah.
on the same planet, we're in the same universe. So it don't make sense to be hurting, to be fighting, to be doing all this stuff. Like we need to be in peace. And sometimes you need to. It gets a little violent a little bit, you know. But
Mhm.
sometimes we got to take those steps and show that we care, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, man. Yeah, you're wise beyond your years, bro. I am.
Thanks.
You give me chills when you speak, man. And people need to hear more of this. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Some of the
I
nonsense.
appreciate you for giving me this platform,
I
man. I
have
really
to,
appreciate
because it's about the music, but it's about knowing you as well, and then us coming together and having a conversation.
it.
So we come to the point in the interview now, man. I got two questions for you, man.
Okay.
And you're gonna tell me which card you want me to read, my right hand or my left hand.
All right. I'm a Raptors fan, so we going over here.
Yo, yo, Tari Torre did that with Muhammad Ali.
Oh
Before I had
yeah?
the Blue Jay up, Muhammad was over here, and she said
Oh no way.
she loves Muhammad Ali, so she's going with this side. So you're a Raptors fan,
I
okay?
would have gone that if it was Muhammad Ali.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Okay, ready?
Yeah.
What is one of the most memorable moments of your life?
Oh my God, that's a deep one. Oh, that's so hard to pinpoint one.
Take your time, man.
What I'll do is I'll say um what thing is always memorable to me whenever it
Okay.
happens.
Oh
Okay,
yeah,
and
man.
that's when I feel that I have impacted someone, and I feel
Uh,
that I have influenced them to think about something or to be motivated to step out of their comfort zone and achieve something. So I think when people reach out to me and say it's so motivating and inspirational that you stay at it,
mhm,
I think that is the most meaningful thing to me, you know, because that's like I said, for this is about showing people. Like what I do is about showing people that
mhm.
you can do it. Like it's going to be hard, and only the people that are at the top is because they didn't give up.
Yeah.
So if we don't give up, we'll make it. So I think the most memorable thing to me is just whenever I'm able to uh, whenever someone is able to understand and feel that energy and just be like, you know what, he's
Mhm.
right.
Yeah.
Like he can do it if he sticks to it, and I can too. You
Yeah.
know, I think that's the biggest thing.
Yeah, when you impact someone, I'm telling you, this is what happened to me, man. I scroll to the gram sometimes, man, and I stop at your post, man, and you're rapping in the
That's
car, and I'm
great.
like, okay, I gotta reach out, man, because you made me feel something. You know what I mean? So
Mm-hmm.
that was nice. So before we close it out, I'm gonna ask about the charity, man, because I do this to donate to causes. And I want to know how you felt though. I don't know if it's the first time when you first heard the track on the radio. It's happened
It
before.
was, yeah.
It was it the first time?
It was first time, yeah.
Yo, so how did that happen? And how was that feeling, man, hearing yourself on the radio?
So actually, there's this guy in Calgary that
Okay.
he has a show on the radio, and I saw his Instagram, and I kind of reached out to him saying like, "Hey," and he does a podcast and everything. So it's actually a podcast
Yeah.
that they take 10 minutes of the podcast and they put on the radio as well as two songs or one song, I guess.
Hmm.
And then I just reached out to him. We kind of started talking. We felt each other vibe, and then we did a whole podcast and got on the radio. And to me, it was so. It's just awesome, right? Because it's like you see the fruits of your labor come into existence. You know, you
Yeah,
see it
yeah,
happening. You see it manifesting. It's like, okay, I got the radio. Now we're on to the TV.
yeah,
Now we're on to the next thing, the next thing. So it's like these are stepping stones that remind you that, you know, your efforts are worth it. Your efforts are, you're going to get somewhere with it, you know, just keep at it. Um, and For me, it's like I don't spend too much time celebrating because it's always like there's so much more to do, you know.
Of course.
So even though that's a great thing, I'm always on to the next and trying
Next.
to figure out the next. Yeah.
Yeah. And speaking of that, so you already mentioned it, but let the people know what you're working on now too. It might be a repeat of what we said, but it's always good to repeat what you
Hmm.
said, and then how the people can find you too.
Yeah, for sure. So, like I said, my name's ARIO, all religions in one. I'm about the love, I'm about the people. Um, I'm an artist, many facets. Even actually, this is my newest shirt that I've began designing. And now with these merch, I want to go because here I'm gonna go on a little tangent here, but
Yeah.
with clothing, you probably have noticed too. If you wear something with a graphic on it and
Hmm.
you walk down the street, people will look at you in a way, not in a bad way, but they'll look at you in a way like they're reading it, they're trying to see what it means. But if you wear, so that's why with this new design, I didn't write anything.
Yeah.
I made it all fabric. So I said, how can I make a design without any actual graphic to it? Because
Okay.
I didn't want it to, I wanted the fabric to be the staple of it, not just something provocative maybe.
Right. Right.
So it's really hard too because it's much more effort to pick fabrics, design something, but um yeah, so I make clothes too, and I make music. Right now, I'm working on my whole lineup for clothing. So I'm not sure if this one will be released or if it'll be tweaked, but this is just the prototype so far.
I like it.
I have the other one with the square. That one is and my brand is called "This Is the Meaning of Life."
Hmm.
And then I'm working
Wait,
on
I'm glad
that.
you shouted that out though, because I think I saw it before, but I just followed because you have a page for that
Yeah,
too.
yeah,
So
yeah.
I'm glad you touched on the merch, man. So the clothing. Okay, go on.
Yeah. Yeah. So honestly, if anyone's listening to this and they want to support your boy, follow me on social media. That's where I post everything. My main account is All Religions in One, and my clothing account is This Is the Meaning of Life. Right now, I'm working on more music. I plan to do frequent drops. So the next one coming November 4th, next one gonna come shortly after. And slowly, I'm gonna work towards a project to come out. Um, but we're still making sure that's really special and makes sense in the marketing terms because we are in a day and age of singles.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, man, like I'm if you wanna see some random kid really make it, this is the boy. This is the boy, and Star Scorpio, the boy. You know what I mean? Like, and all these people, all the your friend that makes clothes, makes music, does
Mhm.
whatever. Like they stream, they play video games. Support them. Like you're gonna support Drake that already has $1 billion. Like support the boys, support your friends. And like we said earlier, it's all practice. So it's just going to keep getting better and better and better. And um, it's never too late to join the ARIO train. So you're always welcome. And that's that.
Nice. I'm on the Ariel trade, and
Real
you're
shit.
part of the Star Scorpio family, bro.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, the clothing. So I think it's the last 2 years, man. I started supporting people. I didn't know why I didn't do this before, but when I find out my friend or someone I know has a clothing line, like my friend DJ Chela Soul, he's the first one. I bought two hoodies from him. And then this guy, Ranch Turner in the States that I interviewed, he had the
Hmm.
clothing line Voss and Bridges. I bought his stuff. I donate to stuff. So I support, man. I'm like, why didn't I do this before? You got to give back, man. And then I
Yeah.
noticed things come to me too, man. When
Yeah,
you give, you
exactly.
get, man. But
It's
yeah,
the energy.
yeah, it's the energy, man. I'm gonna support you too. But now I need to know the charity, man. So you sent me a message on
Yeah.
Instagram. But what are we gonna do here, man? I need to know who am I donating
Okay.
to.
So I'll have to send you the exact link. But
Okay.
what I wanted to do is donate towards the cause in Iran that we spoke about
Hmm.
and something that supports women in society today. And the issue with Iran is that it's hard to donate to something real, you know, because the government's super shady. It's all lies and stuff. You could donate to someone that to some organization that has nothing to do with any helping, right?
Yeah.
But there is this one that I found. It's
Okay.
actually located in Toronto,
Okay.
and so a few years back, there was a flight. I forget the exact number, but there was a flight leaving Iran,
Okay.
and it was just a passenger flight, and there were a lot of Canadians on it. I think 50 something. I'm not sure,
Yeah, I
but it
know.
was leaving Iran. You remember that?
Yeah, I know you're talking about.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Mhm.
it's the people behind that, behind
Mhm.
like the families of those victims that
Yeah.
created this organization. That they're the ones actually that set up these weekly protests in the different cities in Canada, and
Okay.
they seem to be a very legitimate source.
Mhm.
So I think we should go for that. And
Yeah.
whatever you put in, I'm gonna match it myself because, like you said, we're on the same wavelength, man.
Yeah. Let's do it. So, yeah, give me the name because I like to always put it in the post too. I'm gonna post who we donated to, so that's good. Yeah, man.
Yeah,
All right. That's it, man. This was a great interview, man. This
yeah.
is your episode 10, man. Perfect 10
Perfect
of
10. Let's
season
get it.
4. So Ario, thanks for coming out. Episode 10, season 4 of Real Talk with Star Scorpio, and we out.
Thank you, sir.